Yes, I asked for a review by FIFA. I spoke to a man who's highly respected. I didn't think it was a foul. I thought it was two great athletes that crashed into each other and got entangled. That was not a guy punching somebody in the face or anything that would be different. And I think it's a terrible if they wouldn't allow a top player, maybe the best, maybe among the best players on the team to play. I think it would have had a big stain. And I related just that feel. I didn't tell him what to do. I can't tell him what to do. But and I don't believe he made the decision. I think it was a committee that made the decision. And they made the right decision because, number one, it wasn't a foul. And you want to see a game with your best players. I think the referee's call was horrible. And nobody talks about that. They talk about the red card like it's fine. Nobody talks. The referee's decision to red card. I didn't know what the hell a red card was. When I found out, I said, you got to be kidding. And this referee, who is a little bit suspect, if you check his past, I don't want to say that because I don't like to create controversy, but very suspect. If you'd like, I'll provide you with the past. He made a call that nobody could believe. Even people on the other side, they say, "Oh, we got lucky. Wow, that's." And it's very interesting. They say they don't show them in slow motion, and I never realized that. I never heard of that before. That they're not allowed to review in slow motion because it's so different. Because you'll take one little quarter of a second and you'll see that a hand is touching a neck or you'll see something. Whereas when you see it in fast motion, it will look like two guys collided, which is really what happened. They got sort of entangled. He didn't do anything wrong. And he's our best player or one of our best players, a very vital player. And he gave him a red card. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't think it meant much. Then I started hearing that means he can't play in the next game, at least in the next game. I said, boy, that's a big, if it happened to another player, it would have been unfair. But when they take your best player or just about, they have some great players, and they say you can't play, that's very unfair. That's, it's one thing to penalize somebody for the game. But how do you penalize them for a game that hasn't been played yet? It's very unfair. You can't do that. So.
Royal Belgian Football Association, they had also said they were astonished, currently investigating all potential legal options. And then we just heard this morning from the United European Football Association, which is the governing body of soccer in Europe, expressing our disbelief in such an unprecedented, incomprehensible, and unjustifiable decision. Are there any other options, certainly any legal options, as the Royal Belgian Football Association is alluding to at this point?
This is why we watch football, Erica, because we love legislative courtroom drama. This is something that feels ripped from the WWE.
That's why I watch.
Home cooking is the best cooking. It's totally unprecedented, and I'm kind of torn between being an American fan, despite my accent. I love this nation like Kenny Powers loves this nation. And as an American fan, emotionally, I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. And as a rational fan of the football and the World Cup as an integral operation with rules and regulations, in which it seems almost outlandish, insane that this man has been cleared at the very last because of, as the New York Times is reporting, a White House phone call to the head of FIFA to repeal a ban that has no right to appeal against. So our great goal scorer is free on the eve of probably the biggest game in modern US men's national team football history. And it feels great for many American fans. We do have to ask ourselves, Erica, if it was the other way round, if we were playing France and Macron had put the call in to get Mbappe, their best striker, ready to play, or Saudi Arabia or Qatar had done something, how would we feel? And the crazy thing is, the US were doing so well in this tournament. We were playing so well. There is an element that going into battle today with Balogun, not like this. This is going to scar and stain the US journey in the long term forever.
Yeah, you're not the first to say it's going to be an asterisk no matter what happens. When we look at the matchup for tonight, Belgium, of course, beat the U.S. in a friendly 5-2 back in March. What do you think the U.S.'s chances are?
This is a game with an echo in history. In 2014 in Brazil, the United States played at the same stage, Belgium. They were then at their peak. This was a game many of you viewers may remember. It's the Tim Howard game when he played his lights out, the most saves ever in a World Cup game. We lost in agony at the end. Unbelievably, 4 of the Belgian players are still the core of their team. They're now an aged core. They're like a crime caper, old guys coming back for one more crime. So it's veteran experience against this young, very athletic United States team with Flo Balogun, asterisk. And I do believe this is the agony for me. I thought the US were going to win this, whatever, this major game, get through this stage, round of 16, in which we traditionally stumble. But it's going to be a matchup with extra layers, football, intrigue, courtroom drama, and that geopolitical level over the top of it. The World Cup contains multitudes